Let me introduce you Namrata, and she's women Techmaker, and she's from she's also an organizer from GDG Pune. Namrata, good morning.
Good
Can
morning.
you give a bit of introduction about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Namrata, and as he said, I'm a Women Tech Makers Pune ambassador and co-organizer at GDG Pune. Apart from that, I'm a technical product manager at Bajaj Finserv Health, and currently I'm working in product and tech domain. So yeah, that.
Okay, nice. I think you may want to deliver your presentation a bit slower because I feel like there may be some internet connections for some of our attendees. So right now we will broadcast your presentation on the screen,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then you will take the you will own the show. Good show.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So hello all. As I said, I'm Namrata MORE. I'm a associate technical product manager. Now, what lends to your problem? That means we people have a lot of problems, and most of the times what happens is we don't understand what our exact problem is, and we just go through some random stuff. We collect some random things in our mind and work on that instead of directly working. It's not just your technology, it's not just your company, your product, your industry. It's also about your own personal problems, and sometimes we neglect those personal problems, and that is all I want to talk about. So yeah, this is just my quick introduction, which I think I already covered. What a problem is from a tech industry. What a problem is, first is we never know for what we're building what the user exactly wants. We never know. It is very difficult to predict what the similar user needs. I mean, if I want something, not necessarily I'm for example, I'm a girl. I'm in between 20 to 30, and say I'm an Indian. Yeah, so you cannot, with these three parameters, you cannot predict if a similar demographics, and there's another girl with same demographics, then whatever I like, that person will also like. No, it's not the same, right? That is why we need a lot of more analysis. And third is because of the messy and predictable nature that we all of us have. It's very difficult to predict what would we like. For example, if today I am liking a certain thing, not necessarily tomorrow also I'd like the same. So that is one. uh, okay, so as a developer, do you relate to this? I relate to this a lot. Everyone has so much different perspectives. Everyone has so different expectations from you as a web developer, as an app developer, as a designer, as a business person. There are so many things, right? This is because we all of us has a different perspective, and obviously let's not take every different perspective as a wrong thing, but instead let's take it as a scope of improvement. When someone tells you this font should not be this font should be a little different, this content is not good, take it as a feedback, take it as a scope of improvement, and then move ahead. So this is the first thing that we need to understand when we say overcoming our problems, right? So learning is a process, and that goes on. So yeah, how do we learn? Like what should be done? From where to start? What would be the procedure to learn, right? So first you need to understand why. When you have a problem, or when you're trying to create a solution, understand why of it, understand the necessity of it, the basic necessity. Why are you creating that particular thing? Then comes how is the procedure. How also includes what you have with you. Like, for suppose, uh, there is a very much necessity there was a very much necessity of creating some very basic thing, like a camera. The camera, when it was introduced the first time, it was a necessity. How includes what do we have right now. I mean, currently if I say I want to build a camera from scratch, I think I'll get everything. I'll directly get stuff from the market, and I can build it. But when it was initially created, we had restrictions. We only had a particular thing in our hand, and we had to create with that particular stuff. So that is how the procedure also includes what you have, the restrictions, the constraints. include those things. And then comes the what is the product that you're making. This what will differ, this what will improve, this will always keep improving with your say feedbacks, procedures. You want to once I build a website, is it like once I build a website, once I build an app, I'll never update it? No, right? You'll always keep on updating it. The what is what you always improve. So you don't have to think of the what part first. First think of the problem. What problem are you facing? That should be important. Why are you creating that product? Very small examples. A lot of our innovations are by some necessity, like telephone, printing press, then the Wi-Fi network. I mean, the network part, the wireless communication. These were necessities. That's why they were built. Obviously, we're still improving those. Even today, we have so much updates in those. Innovation is never ending. Very, very basic examples that we learn from our schools, our high schools, we tend to forget those. And what happens is these small basic things actually give you very, very big idea and very big lessons of life, which we tend to forget. Like there were three principles, right? And we never actually thought about these principles after we came out of the school. We never did. Then the geometric theory and there are so many theories, right? We learned in geography, and then we tend to forget those. If 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, then 2 plus 1 is also 3. So this the perspective part. If I maybe you and I have the same motive in mind, but our way can be different, right? So we need to respect everyone for their way. Maybe sometimes I need 1 plus 1 plus 1 and not 2 plus 1, even when 2 plus 1 was mine. Adapt to things. Maybe sometimes you, what is community about, right? We share things, we talk to each other, we share knowledge, and we grow. So that is what these things actually tend to be. The adaptive nature, like we were taught in our, I think this was also something we were taught when we were really, really small, and we didn't actually understand the thing. But this is just about adapting. Whoever adapts to the environment better retains in the environment, right? Survival of the fittest. It is very important to survive in this industry, in this world. All you need to do is sustain yourself. You need to do something better, and understanding your problem is the first step to it. Perception. So this loop continues. Let's go to for perception first. Perception is how I understand things. When I look at the thing, how I understand thing is my perspective, perception. Cognition includes after I perceive something, what did I actually look into my brain and what did I actually do for it? That'll be the cognition part of it. Action. Once I understand what I want to do, I'll implement that part. That is the action part. Then I'll I'll put that into the world. I'll give it to the user, the end user. Then after the end user has his own perspective, obviously whatever build as a product, not necessarily that will be the final product that the user would like. The user may have some feedbacks, right? So obviously the cycle keeps on repeating, and with every new perception we are more good towards it. So yeah, that is it. And this is the convex lens concept, the convex lens approach. This actually lets us know what how to solve problems. There are five parallel things going on. What you have to do as a problem solver, or as a problem understander, is to try meeting those 5 points so that you get some good result at the focal, right? The focus is very important, and to do that you need the convex lens to make it focus. You have amazing talent, but to you have five amazing people in your industry, but to actually get the output, you need those five people to work together. And that is how you solve the problem. The same implements with yourself. You may have five really amazing habits in yourself, but you're not getting how to use and what to use when. That is very important. Okay, one example I'd like to give is one of the product that I had built during my college times. This is a noise reflector. Now I'm from India, and India is known for its culture, right? So What happens is there's a concept called vari. Here we have bhajans, we have kirtans, we have music, we have traditional music going on for some 1 week continuous. And this vari thing is at particular regions in India, some small areas, some rural areas. Where my college was, I guess some 50 meters away from my college, this used to be. We used to have vacation for that week because vari used to be so noisy. Now we were having vacation, we were enjoying it, great. But when this comes to hospitals, when this comes to people living in that area, the residential people who are old, who are more than 50 years of age, who are not able to sustain in that environment, what to do for them, right? So the problem was not the culture or the tradition that was getting followed. The problem was noise pollution should not go to the people who actually have a problem with it. Most of them were enjoying that thing, but some of them who were maybe say ill or not able to understand what is going on around, those people were suffering in it. And that is where we understood we need to make something. Now we understood the problem and where the problem is. With the help of Redx is is founded by Professor Ramesh Raskar from MIT Media Lab. And with the help of Redx as a club in our college, university, we started with this project and we built a small hardware which actually, if you place that hardware into your window, then like if you see this image, if you place this hardware in your window, then the wave coming inside, the noise wave coming inside was reduced by 35%. Now 35% doesn't mean a lot, we're still working on it, but yeah, 35% was decreased. And this was at least letting the people to keep their windows open, have the fresh air in, not getting suffocated, and still a little lower noise. So this is something we did. And yeah, obviously a blog is published by Redx MIT Media Lab. You can check it out at bit.ly/noise reflector. So yeah, what happens is sometimes like this was very random problem that we picked up. We tried to find a solution to it. We first understood the problem, we made a survey, and then we came to the final conclusion. When we make products, when we make tech products, what happens is we usually tend to forget the artistic part of it, like colors, the aesthetic of it, how does it appear. And we tech people are tech savvy. I usually like, we don't want to do a lot of we don't want to waste a lot of energy in such things. So what we do is we usually make a wonderful product and we don't actually give it a aesthetic look. It is very important, and let's see why. So can you just guess what brands are these are really popular brands, all of us know all of these. Anyone wants to say out maybe what this is, what these are, any of these? You can just try guessing. And okay, let's wait for say 10 seconds and then let's reveal it out. So these are our favorite brands that I think we all of us use almost every day, right? At least one of these we use every day: Facebook, Spotify, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Google. These colors, these, even if I see these colors, I know this specifies a specific brand, right? This is how you want to create your brand. When you make a product for yourself or when you make your own product, all you want to do is just with the color, just with the aesthetic of it, you want people to understand what that brand is, right? So yeah, let's see a very vague example. This was from LinkedIn, and there was someone who wrote, "I'm thrilled to announce that I'll be joining Netflix this summer as a premium subscriber." Now, what people do not read the text, right? When it's very normal, people do not read the text. What people see is the logo. With the Netflix logo, that person got 45,440 reactions and 2074 comments. This was when I saw it. All right. So It's so weird. People commented, people liked just by seeing the logo. They didn't even read it. So sometimes all it reflects is your appearance, is your product's colors, your product's aesthetic look. That is what this just a. I'm not gonna prove it, but this is just an example of how a human mind reacts to colors, right? So yeah, when we say products, creating products, solving a problems, novel way of solving a problem, what can we do, right? PPT is not what you're thinking of. PPT is people, process, and tech. So when we create a new product, when you're creating a new thing, there are three things you need to understand really really well, so that whatever you create does not go to waste. First, second, whatever you create, you should be able to improve that every day. Like, if I create a certain thing, I should be able to improve that afterwards. And third, your tech. Your tech is very very important, because if you do not have a very good foundation of tech, that may create a problem afterwards. So people are the users. That's the first thing you need to target. Whatever you're creating, is your user actually be acceptable to your product? Second is the process. Do not just go out and create something, because if you don't have a process, when you want to improve it, if you want to redesign it, if you want to re-engineer it, you'll be having a lot of problem if you don't have a process. And third is tech. Many companies are going really good, but their technology, the basic of it, if the foundation or the tech is not good, you will have a downtime of our website, crashes for app, and these are small things that you won't predict. But this may happen when, for suppose, my website is not ready for 1 million users, but suddenly 1 million user come to my website and my foundation is not good. My products are really good, but my foundation is not good. That's why my users will come and go, and then will never come saying it, this app is crashing, I don't want to use this application ever again, right? So these are the three things which you need to follow. People, how? Go to the first person view. Take, like when we say, I want to go, you should be in that shoe and understand if that is perfect for the user. Go and understand if that particular, if you were the user and if you want to use that particular thing, then are you accepting it in every perspective? Process is architecture and planning, which is very very important. Mapping out things, mapping out data points, mapping out APIs from where to where, creating a flow, creating architecture, this is very important. Tech tech stack and performance, as I said, it's very very important. So these three things which we need to follow. And then diversifying the solutions, like it's always said, it's not always about innovating solutions, creating something new every time. It's sometimes about creating a particular thing and then diversifying a solution to solve many problems, right? Innovation, it doesn't mean always I want to do an innovation. Sometimes I create a similar product, but with that product I solve a new problem, because solving problem is more important. I create a amazing device which no one is going to use. What is the use of it? Right? Because no one is going to use it. First understand the why of it, the necessity of it, and then go towards the solutioning part. Very vague examples. So have you ever seen recommendation engines? uh, Take Amazon, take Netlify, anything that gives you recommendations. Netflix give you so many recommendations. You see one movie, one series, you'll be recommended so much more, right? So let's see how it works. Content based filtering. So what happens in content based filtering is, I am a person A, I'm a user. I read a book, say Harry Potter. There's a similar book, fictional. Now, Harry Potter is a fiction book. Fiction will be compared. Fiction is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Now, both of these are fictional books. I read Harry Potter. Alchemist and Harry Potter both are fictional. Alchemist will be recommended to me. This is how it works. So, two contents are compared, and then the user, if is liking one, then it will be recommend. Second will be recommended to him. This is the content-based filtering. Collaborative filtering. In collaborative filtering, two users are compared. I am a user A and there's another user B. For example, now I am reading book A and my friend is reading book B. We both are similar users. So if I am reading A, then A will also be recommended to my friend B. Now this is how we use cohorts, if you've heard of it. Uh, a particular demographic of people are get together, and if one person is liking that thing, second one is recommended the same thing. So this is like creating a cohorts. Collaborative filtering, we collaborate with people, we understand the mindset of it, understand the demographics of it, and then we try to implement it. In hybrid recommendations, what happen is we use both. CF is content based filtering, and content based filtering and collaborative filtering. So both are used together, combine, and then whatever result that we get is the hybrid form of recommendation. That is, we compare user to user as well as content to content, and then whatever result we get is the combined hybrid recommendation that is used. These recommendations are used in almost everything that we use. The five things that I showed you from colors, like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Spotify. These are very big brands which run on recommendation. Now, you would think, why am I talking about recommendations? This is because when you say I want to talk about recommendations, I'd say I took recommendation from one stuff and I then gave it or use the same technology in something else. This is how you diversify solutions. You take one and you give it to the a similar one to someone else who may need it. This is what we want to do while solving a problem. May it be a physical problem, may it be a personal problem, or may it even be a technical problem. So yeah. Then problem solving mind. How do we use this in my project that I showed you before? Where all can I use this noise reflector? Now this was created for a rural area where hospitals are used. But again, now this can also be used in schools where there's a lot of noise going on. I mean, some rural schools where, say market is around, people are moving around, or hospitals where there is a lot of noise, or where people actually want silence. We can use these, right? So we can keep our windows open, we don't have to close the windows when there's a lot of noise, and we can use this can also be used in work from home. Like these days we are all working from home. This world has become so virtual. We're at our homes, we don't know if what would come near my home and have a lot of noise. This can be used in our homes as well. So we're building on it, we're building more on it, and once we have a really good demo of it, then yeah, we're uh, uh, we're basically trying to diversify this solution that we have. We're trying to understand problems that is similar to this problem that we already solved, and then use this in multiple ways by improving it however we need, right? So yeah, this is what an example I showed you about problem solving mind. Now, innovation is exciting. However, product approach needs a focus on users, as we discussed before. And one of a very important parameter, like we discussed in colors, like with color mindset, I understand the different approaches. The same way, information hierarchy is also very, very important. Information hierarchy. Okay, what is information hierarchy? When you present something, or when you tell tell someone about something, when you write an email, when you create a poster, or when you want to describe, or when you want to present something, use the user's mindset. Very, very important, because you never know what a user will actually see when you send a mail. Why do you bold out things? Why do you make certain things highlighted? Why do you do that? Because that actually makes that person come to that particular thing. Why do you underline? These things are very important. When we come to tech savvy people, we usually don't tend to go to the font stuff because we don't like it. What we'll do is tech, but we need to understand information hierarchy. Presenting things are very important. And here, if you see, you I mean, this something I think you all should read, and then you'll, at least for me, this works. However, whatever is shown, this the way I also read this may sound too cliche. This may sound too cliche because this is something we all know from the time we were small, from the time we were children, but we never used this. There are things that we know from inside. We have known these things from like forever, but we have never used it. Let's see very small examples again. Oreo. So Oreo is a big brand, right? Oreo is a biscuit brand, and Oreo used an extension pack of Oreo. It started with its extended pack on June 21st, which is the longest day of the year. This the longest day of the year and the longest pack is resemblance, right? This is how they promoted their brand, right? If the consumer is the key of the market, who's the queen is the infographics, because that is how you present your product to the people, to the users. And users, what we do marketing, right? And how do we market out stuff? So when I say a longest pack is introduced today on the longest day of the year, people may just take it to send a story on Instagram, to just have a to just click a photo and send on WhatsApp, just saying this is the longest day of the year and I have the longest pack of Oreo. So this is how you brand. Like Tesla positioned themselves as the good guy brand, saying that all our patents belong to you. Why? Because when they say all our patents belong to you, you as in we customers, we tend to, even if I am not a buyer of Tesla, I would promote it freely, right? What I'll do is, there's a very good line, this is a very good motivating line, I may just take a snapshot of it and send it on LinkedIn, Twitter, somewhere, and get, they're getting free ads from fans and supporters because of this. They're not asking you to share stuff, but they write some really good stuff that you actually like, and then they use that as a ad, as marketing. This creates a good image with your user, as well as the users who actually want to buy now will really like their target customer is already rich, and even the people who they are not targeting, who maybe are not their customers, would also advertise them, just because they have promoted it in a very different kind of way. So I think this is something creative that every person should understand. When you create a product, to brand it, I won't say market it, but to present it in front of someone. Even when you give a very small presentation in your company, in your industry, in your schools, universities, during your say PhD, anything. These Understanding these small things are very very important. So, what's the novel lens, right? My title was novel lens to your problem. What was the novel lens that we understood today? First is we understood what the problem is, right? How how should we take the problem into consideration? First take the why, then how, and then the what is the product that you want to create. What we know, second is what we know, what we already know, our basics, our traditions, our learnings that we already had in our mind, but we're not using them. Then direct problems around us and solutions. Like I said, my noise deflector, that was a direct problem that I was facing, even I was facing. You're facing a lot of problems, but we don't tend to understand those, or we don't tend to solve those. Instead, we move to something new, some innovations. Sometimes innovation is not something all we need. Sometimes we need to just understand what my rare problem is, because that may not be rare. Now when I thought of creating this noise reflector, I did not know this can also be used somewhere else, right? So that is diversifying solutions. Look at the problem from first person view and understand, maybe my solution can be used here also. That's the that's the thing. Then diversifying solution, for example, recommendations. I like a thing, a similar user, a similar demographic user may also like a thing. Just recommend that thing, that person. The same way, like I found a solution, maybe that problem also be solved by the solution that I have. Little modification, little change in it, and I may solve that problem too. This is how you diversify yourself, diversify whatever you have in yourself. Problem solving mind like reflectors are used. Then the fancy examples that we went through, Oreo and Tesla, which are amazing, and a piece of advice which I think is left. So yeah, one of my mentor has once said this to me. So what kind of person are you? Let's see. Are you first kind of person, this happy go lucky person who never has problem with anything? First, the A type person is a person who's very happy and very satisfied with everything that he or she has. Second is a person who has a list of problems and who even will have a problem with, why am I speaking like this, or I'm not liking this person, or some random problem, why is her background so weird. They have so many weird problems, and they just have complaints with it. And third type of person is a person who's never satisfied, who's never, you have to be happy. Being happy is really good, but being satisfied all the time with whatever we have will never improve ourselves, will never progress, right? So third person is never happy. And secondly, he doesn't even complain about his problems. Obviously he's not happy, but that doesn't mean he's sad and complaining all the time. But instead, he'll be solving problems, he'll be taking out solutions, he'll be understanding what others problem is, my problem is, community's problem is, and just trying to reflect out something that you have. Third person, like C type person, is we all, we engineers, we product managers, we business people, we entrepreneurs, all of us, developers, we all are solving problems some other way. We are never, so that is what, we should never be satisfied. We should be happy, we should be really happy, but we should never be satisfied with what we have. And we should never just complain about our problems. Yeah, I have a problem and I'm going to solve it. This should be what our attitude is, and this is what we are, I think. So being a C type person is combining dots to work out stuff, as in just move ahead with whatever we have. So I think, yeah, with this, I am done. And if there's anything anyone wants to ask, any queries, any questions, I'm free to talk about. Anyone, any questions? Anything you have, you can connect with me on my website, all social media platforms, and we can connect on that. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Namrata, for your presentation. Maybe I take the advantage of all the audience because I would like to ask
Sure.
my own questions. So,
Sure.
I mean, I'm also a product manager. So, my
Okay.
struggle in my daily life would be like, how do we strike the balance between the timeline, which is the requirement, or hard, sometimes it's a hard requirement from the business stakeholders, versus the ability to articulate a particular problem with a solution. So, what would you actually suggest when it comes to, as per your topic, novel answer your problems? Like in this kind of situation where they have conflict of interest or even contradicting requirements or timelines,
Yeah.
how would you actually being able to, or what's your suggestion to this kind of situation where we can have a smooth processes and a good outcome?
Obviously, yeah. So this is something we all face, right? From business, there are requirements coming overcoming, and then we are so much frustrated what to do and what not to. At such a time, first thing I do is prioritize by myself. What should I do, what can I do? Like I said, first we understand, when a business requirement comes to us, first we understand why are we doing this business requirement. We don't just take it because it's given by the business, right? They have some business motive behind it. So first understand the motive behind it. Once you understand the motive, you can give them how we are going to do technically, what will be the tech stack used, technically how much time will be required from our end. They may say we need it in 15 days, we cannot do it in 15 days. What all can I do it in 15 days? This is to be shown to the business people. And then once we understand why are we creating this, I think we can prioritize better. We can create phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, right? We may say in 15 days we can just deploy phase 1. Once our phase 1 is done, deployed, we check with the customers, this going good, let's go to phase 2 now. So I think that is how I'll go for it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, because when you talk about phase one, phase two, and phase three, like even myself, I mean, as a ex-engineer per se, I actually have some struggles when I have to do something really quick as phase one. Then, if we are saying that we are breaking a large solution or breaking the solutions to a huge problem into different phases, that sometimes for phase one it will be rather hacky. But if we do something hacky in phase one, actually we build or we pile up some technical debt. So, like, how would you advise or how would you suggest, like, as a product manager, how far should I go? Because you are kind of like a technical product manager. I'm like more on the business stakeholder management side or prioritize side, while you may be more inclined towards the solutioning side. How would you advise to strike the balance, or would you actually better off combining the two phases to one and like set expectation that, hey, we are not going to do any hack or we are not going to do any growth hack, but like we need to plan things, lay out the entire plan first before we commit to different phases.
Okay. So, yeah, obviously, as an overview, we should have a problem from the start to the end. But it's obviously not like when we distribute it in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 1 will have its definite flow, phase 2 will have its definite flow. And with phase 1, when I get a flow from business part, then I, as a technical product manager, I created technical architecture of it, the technical data point architecture where data flow is mapped. Now when I say phase 1, I'll only do a particular stuff and I have data points mapped to it. Now I know how is it going to go. Now when I move to phase 2, this won't be a problem, because now I know what the procedure is followed and technically as well, not just in business view. And that is how in phase 2 I won't take that much time as I took in phase 1, because now our data points already mapped. All we want to do is the improvement and we'll get it clear faster. So yeah, I think
So
from
you're
tech
more
side.
inclined. So you're sorry. You are more inclined to adding more data points, even it is like a simple phase one, because you actually
Yeah,
want more data points to back up your phase two and phase three.
correct. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Well, that's really insightful, because when I mean me as a product manager, some of the struggle is like, oh, just like when we do programming, like instead of writing a for loop or like a while loop, I should
Yeah.
like write 10 lines of code, like I plus one, I plus two, I plus three, right? That kind of thing. So it's very easy or it's very tempting for engineers or even for product managers, because we are pressed by tight timelines, that we would actually wanted to do something out, but not considering the data point. So you basically are saying that like data point is very essential for phase one, because it actually paves the path or like
Yeah.
give the backup or like data needed for justifying the phase two or even for phase three.
Right. Yes.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I think we are almost I mean we are almost there. So thanks very much for your time, and then really want to see you next year, and maybe you can also invite some of us to your GDG Pune
Of course,
events. We are more than happy to support you.
of course. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Okay, see you. Have a good day.
Good day. Bye. All the best.
Bye bye.